Jada was such a little pro. We were all in these ball gowns and everyone looks all done up and it's kind of like, feels a little bit like prom. So she's a bit confused when she's feeling sparks there when all signs are pointing in a different direction. I think both emotions can exist. And I'm not even making this up. It sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Heart in Motion podcast. I'm thrilled today to be talking with Ashley Newbrough. Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
So good to have you here. I want to just start first of all by congratulating you. Hallmark put out a press release not too long ago that Christmas in July's 4 original movie premieres ranked as the #1 most watched entertainment cable programs on Saturdays throughout the month. And you just happen to be in all 4 of those. So that's fantastic news.
Yeah, thank you. I got lucky.
So I definitely want to chat about Unwrapping Christmas, which is what aired in July. But if you're okay with it, I'd love to go back. It would be a missed opportunity if I did not talk about, I think it's your first Hallmark, which is Love Under the Stars. Was that your first Hallmark?
Yes, that was my very first Hallmark movie.
And I think it's one of those that it's a fan favorite. I know that people are still watching it over and over again. It actually on IMDb ranks as your #1 Hallmark movie still. Don't know if
Wow,
you
I
knew
didn't
that or
know
not.
that.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a fun fact.
So, can you talk a little bit about, like your experience moving into Hallmark and then share a little bit about that experience?
The first time I worked on a Hallmark movie, it is best described as, in Mary Poppins, where they meet Dick Van Dyke and then they jump into the sidewalk and it's this beautiful, like artistic fantasy land. That's pretty accurate to how it feels, I would say, because we were
Yeah.
shooting in Victoria, British Columbia. It was absolutely stunning. The cast and crew were so kind and lovely to work with. Everyone had such a great attitude, and it was just this very idyllic experience. It was really nice. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I know that that was also Jada Lily Miller's first Hallmark, who
Yeah.
is now, we see her several months out of the year on When Calls the Heart. What was it like working both with Wes Brown and with Jada?
It was incredible, both of them. Jada was such a little pro. Even then, she was so adorable and just always knew her lines and was so excited to be there every day. And she was the cutest little thing. And yeah, very professional and on top of everything. And she was a joy to work with then. And Wes Brown was incredible. He was so lovely and the perfect co-star to introduce me to the world, I would say, and just yeah, talented, easy to work with, and friendly, and yeah, couldn't have asked for better, really.
I think that that might have been, he had done 2 of the Love, Softly series and maybe one more. So it's pretty early on for him in the Hallmark world too. So pretty new for all of you. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So jumping back to July, Unwrapping Christmas, and this had aired last November on Hallmark Plus. So it was a pleasant surprise that it was actually premiered on Hallmark in July, all 4 of those. So what was it like when you found out that you were going to be a part of a series where you were going to be working with 3 other leading ladies?
Oh, it was really exciting. I'd heard so much about all of them, so it was really nice to meet them in person and get a chance to work with all of them. We only had about, I think it was 6 days where we were all together, and I think we can all agree that was our favorite part of the shoot. It felt a lot like camp, and every single one of those girls, they're so generous and lovely and beautiful, very grounded group of women. So it was nice to meet them because you don't really get to meet the other women when you're shooting these movies typically. So we had a lot of fun, and yeah, it was nice to be a part of that and to be a part of a series of movies. So it kind of like fills out the world a little bit more, and I think you get to know the characters a little bit more, and then everyone gets their own story, and it's nice. It feels a little bit like a TV show in a way.
That's so cool. When you can you first of all, can you talk a little bit about your character? And I know that you guys filmed that more than it was a year ago, but hopefully, Lily, can you talk a little bit about Lily and talk a little bit about the series itself? Because I know this one's unique in that they all have a similar ending. They all kind of come together, which is not always the case in a series. Because can you tell us a little bit about Unwrapping Christmas?
Yeah, so Unwrapping Christmas is about a group of four friends, four best friends, and they own a business together, a gift wrapping company. And each of them has their own specialty and talent that they bring to the table. My character Lily is the fastest wrap and in charge of the marketing portion of the business. And this is Lily's first Christmas without her dad, which she's struggling with. But one of the things, she's very big on signs from the universe and guardian angels and all of that. So she's trying to follow the signs to figure out who she's meant to date or what she's meant to do. But then what ends up happening is she's given signs for two different people. And then luckily she's got her friends close by to help her navigate that and ultimately listen to her gut instinct and listen to her heart and all of that. And I think that's always important because I think that's pretty true to real life. You can see all these signs and start to follow them, but then see conflicting signs. And then that's where I think it comes down to your own intuition and
Mhm.
having a group of close friends to protect and support that intuition is really important because it's so easy to write it off and just be like, oh, well, I don't know what I'm thinking, or I don't know if this feels right or if this feels wrong, or if I should go for it, if I should not. So that's
Mhm.
where it's important to have a close group of girlfriends.
So you played opposite of Torrance Combs, who
Mhm.
played Sean. Can you talk a little bit about, that dynamic? Because those that haven't seen it will know that he's not the first person that you actually go out on a date with. But can you talk a little bit about his character and how he interacts then with Lily?
So he plays Sean, and Sean is a writer who's doing he's doing a column or an article on unwrapping, or yes, unwrapping on their business.
Yep.
And then when he's giving her the initial interview, he realizes that they went to college. They went to the same college, but they never officially met. He noticed her in a class before she switched. Um, so they connect that way, and Lily had gone on a date prior to doing this interview. So she's a bit confused when she's feeling sparks there when all signs are pointing in a different direction. Um, and Yeah, Sean is he's very sweet and curious and interested, um, asks good questions. And I think he does a great job of giving her the space to go through the different things she's feeling this holiday season. And Yeah, he's just the well-rounded, ideal, like lovely guy.
You mentioned that Lily is also kind of wrestling with a little bit more of a heavier story with her dad and the loss of him. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, how do you, when you're doing a movie of the week and you've kind of got that lighthearted and the friendship bond, but then Lily's got this, that more heavier kind of thing that she's dealing with at the same time? What is that experience like for you as an actor?
um, that's a really good question. It's interesting because, as you said, it's part of a world that's lighter hearted, and but I like it because it's true to real life in that sometimes we lose people that we love, and we have to accept that life goes on and traditions happen without them, and it can be heartbreaking if you let it. And sometimes that's what you need to just let it out and feel all of those emotions. um, but ultimately and ideally, I think you get to a place where it's it's a celebration of the ones that we've lost, to practice those traditions and honor them that way and not rob yourself of that. Because for Lily, she's procrastinating decorating the tree because she always did that with her dad.
Yeah.
And it was filming it was actually brutal because I had to watch the home videos that Lily is watching of herself and her dad. And I actually had just recently lost my grandfather, my papa,
Mm.
and he was very huge on Christmas. Christmas Eve was his favorite time of the year. And I'm not even making this up. It
Yeah.
sounds like a Hallmark movie. So it was incredibly challenging to then make a movie like this and keep it light, because realistically I wanted to watch the tapes and just absolutely collapse and bawl
Yeah.
my eyes out.
Yeah.
So it was challenging in that I had to find the positive and fun and really, really try to see how it is a celebration of the ones that we've lost, and they stay with you,
Mm.
and they're right there with you when you do the
Hmm.
things that, or the traditions that you're used to doing with them. So I was sort of able to find that. And I think it's important, because it can feel really lonely when you're, in the thick of grief, especially during the holidays where everyone else is on a different page and really excited and happy. And it's like,
Hmm.
I think both emotions can exist at the same time. And it's just finding that balance and letting yourself feel all the feelings, and leaning on your family and friend group, I think too, is a huge piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. I think that's so important though, because, as an audience member, that's how we connect to that. We're experiencing that, like you said. And so when we have those moments, when we see something like that, it might bring a memory back for us or make that connection. And I think that's why we show up to watch these movies to begin with. So it's incredible
Yeah.
though that, you were able to kind of like make that connection in your own personal life as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a choice, but it
yeah,
was just
it
like, oh my,
it
like
is. Yeah.
it
Wow.
was so close to real life that it was just overwhelming at
Yeah.
times. But um, it it was nice because it really helped me find that, because I was also dreading that Christmas,
Mm,
because of the same reason that Lily was.
yeah.
I didn't want to go through it without him, and that's where I was so grateful we had those traditions, because the more you lean into them and the more you celebrate them, the closer you get to feel to them. And I think that's really sacred and special. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Do you have any other, whether it be part of filming or a particular moment? And I know you filmed it, a year ago, but another meaningful moment or scene or working with the girls that really just stands out to you?
Um, yeah, it's when we were all working together. Well, the first day we all met each other was during the gala. So each movie ends at this big gala they're all prepping for. And it was so exciting and fun because we were all in these ball gowns and everyone looks all done up, and it's kind of like, feels a little bit like prom.
Yeah.
And we're all excited and running around trying to, get to know everybody, but then also, work on the scenes and do our job. Um, and we were filming this big, beautiful building, and it was just such a heightened, fun experience. Also, it was during a heat wave when we were shooting that, so that added a fun little curveball. And we were working when we were all together in the shop. That was a lot of fun as well, despite the heat, because it's we couldn't have the air conditioning on because it affects sound, and we're all layered up in
Oh
sweaters
my
and
goodness.
jackets and scarves and all of that, and we're all just like pouring sweat, which can make you feel a little bit delirious at times. But I think that definitely bonded all of us pretty quickly, because we're all, sweating and getting through it together. But yeah, everyone was so professional and amazing. It was really, truly a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So that's not your only series that has aired on Hallmark this year. In the month of August, we're actually going to get to see again the Hearts Around the Table series.
Oh,
There
I
you
didn't know
go.
that. Oh,
So that
good.
premiered on Hallmark in March. And several actually, I didn't even make the connection until I started watching that you had several co stars in both of these projects. How cool was that?
Oh, that was fantastic, because it felt like, such a little reunion. And it's always nice to work with people you have already, because you've already established a friendship. And usually with these shoots being so quick, they get ripped away from you so fast. So it's always great to work with people that you've already worked with. And Catherine Davis, like I said, is an absolute pro and just such a lovely little angel. It was great to work with her again. And then this time she was partnered up with Torrance,
Yes.
and so it's funny how all the connection. Then Jake was
Uh-huh.
playing my foster brother, and so it was a Nice little twist.
Tell us a little bit about Hearts Around the Table for those that haven't seen it.
So Hearts Around the Table is about a foster family all grown up. And each of the four foster kids have their own story of finding love, and they're a very close knit family. Every Sunday, they get together around the table and they update each other on their life and all the different exciting details. And the family, well, Angie, so played by Mindy Cohn, we love her. She's
Back
the
to life,
matriarch.
right?
Oh yeah, she's a legend and truly just the most wonderful person. She's at the head of the table, and this is her family, and she very much is at the helm of it, and is just the most loving and supportive foster mom to each of her kids. So it's nice. It's great because each foster kid has their own story and their own struggle that they're trying to work through, and hopefully they all find love.
You played opposite Steve Lund in this one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, that combination working with him? I know your character was Jenna, so what was that story kind of like? There was a little
So
bit of a backstory in their relationship, right?
yeah, so they Jenna and Andrew, they were high school sweethearts, and then one day they both, I think, went to different schools or something, and he kind of broke up with her out of nowhere, and then they never connected again until they do at work. Um, and that, of course, like brings up all sorts of old feelings on both ends. And I think Jenna is conflicted in how she feels about him, because here's a guy who did break her heart
Hmm.
years ago.
Yeah.
But I think she's pretty optimistic in that people grow and people can change. And her family they all have their varying opinions on him. Most are very supportive, uh, which is good. But yeah, it's always fun to play that trope where there's a history there, because it just gives it so many other layers, and they're forced to deal with each other in a professional setting, but can't help but bring up the past and make each other answer for different moments, or recall different moments that were like happier. And yeah, that's sort of what happens with that.
That's pretty amazing. Do you have any projects or anything that we should be looking for coming up? I know you can't say a whole lot, but anything that we should keep an eye out for?
Um, it's there's one on I don't know when it's going to air, but sometime in December.
Okay.
There's a Christmas movie on Lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something to be looking forward to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ashley, it has been so amazing to get to chat with you, to hear a little bit about both of the series that we got to see this year, and also to kind of reminisce and go all the way back to the very beginning. I would have definitely missed out on an opportunity if I didn't talk a little bit about your experience coming to Hallmark and that very first Hallmark. For everybody watching or listening, just wanted to remind everybody that you can watch both of those series on Hallmark Plus right now. And the Hearts Around the Table is actually airing on the Hallmark Channel this month. So be sure to check that out. Ashley, how can everybody follow you to stay up to speed on all of your projects?
I am on Instagram, and my
Okay,
handle is Ashley Newbrough.
pretty easy to find, right?
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. It's been great connecting to learn a little bit more about your projects, and wishing you all the best moving forward. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. It was so nice to talk to you.